Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of the Lookout Podcast. I don't actually know the number of this, but we'll get there. I think it's like 238. Let's go. Let's see. What's everyone's numbers? Let's take a guess.
239.
80.
I would say, I think it's 238.
We're at episode 238. We sure are. But 239 is almost there. 239 will be episode. We've blasted through half of Summer at Kame House thus far. Thus far, we've done Hell's Paradise. Thus far, we've done Digimon Tamers. We're heading to now the 10th anniversary of Mob Psycho, which we'll be talking about season 3. And then up next, we have Takabe's Original Sin, which will be in 2 weeks. A month from now, we'll be doing Ace of Diamond. Both of those, respectively, 80s pick and LJ's pick. So we got Sad Boy Summer and we got a Sport Boy Summer. And then we're going to wrap it up with Yu Yu Hakusho Chapter Black. But with that said, I'm Mills. I'm here, of course, with the man, the myth, the legend, LJ himself. What's up, LJ?
Nothing much. Another day, another dollar.
Gotcha. 80 in the building. What's up, 80?
Good man, chilling. A good weekend, good week. Sports going on. Argentina going crazy. England surprising the hell out the world.
I don't hear about none of that. Listen, World Cup and Olympics is the only time I could cheer for the colonizers. So Viva España, you already know.
I'm surprised we didn't kick them out of our country. We were just like, all right, everyone get out. Like, it's not fun anymore. Just leave. Thanks for coming.
They're about to raid Atlanta Wednesday. It's about to be crazy here.
I'm sure it's just too much money to pass up for World Cup.
Are both final games in Atlanta? No,
I don't know. I know the semifinal because it's gonna be
semifinals.
I don't think so. I know the Messi and England coming here Wednesday though. So that's gonna be a crazy time.
All right, gents. I sent a video in our Lookout chat this morning, and I wanted to ask you guys a question based on this video that we had today. So, a tourist was seriously injured after being thrown 8 feet in the air by a bull bison in Yellowstone National Park. So, I want to ask you guys 2 questions. What's your closest interaction with nature that has gone awry? And then also, in this situation, is it save the bison or save you? Is it save the bison? Let's start with that first. Is it save the bison or save you?
Save the bison, man. We getting bison jerky. We eating bison jerky.
Good bison steak,
Fucking that bison up. Hell yeah. I ain't going.
I need the Trill bison burgers. You feel like
you getting flung up in the air and actually controlling your movement and landing on the bike. What are you doing? Like, what's going on here?
First of all, I gotta figure out if I'm
keep that thing on you. That's what's happening. Bison even got close. Getting flung in the air like that is insane. Because while you're in the air, this is before impact. So you're thinking, like, what the fuck did I do?
Bro, the picture of him in the air is sending me crazy. He is fully in the air, upside down. Mind you, this is an old ass man, by the way.
He's gonna be hurting.
He is. He's cooked. Like it's even said in the thing. So it's like they're watching. I mean, they're walking past this bison park with him and his grandson. His grandson gets out of Dodge immediately, but this man is old. So he's like running around the tree and hoping the bison doesn't catch him. And then the bison does, flings him up in the air. He lands, he's cooked. And then apparently the photographer, the person who's taking the video, scared the bison off. Which is like...
He was like, I gotta get my flicks first though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to do it for the gram first.
But also like... All right, so the bison is. I'm confused. Was he scared because of? I don't know the bison's.
It couldn't be because like when you watch the video, it's like
do you think
he's just rolling around in the ground.
Yeah,
and the old man just takes a picture. He's like, "Nigga, fuck you looking at?" You know the memes of like, "Are you taking a picture of me?"
It was that car that passed by that set him off. Realistically, I think it was the car that passed by before that set him off. Anyway,
no, he needs to be lucky though, because usually bisons roll in groups, and when one starts attacking, they all peek up and be like, "Hey, ain't no fair ones." These jump niggas, like they real come outside. No one finna jump you like energy. Nah, bison's rolling pack, so you better be lucky it was just one, because it could have been like 3-4 of them.
Yeah, what's that anime where that deer is getting German suplex?
Nichijou. That's what it is.
Yeah, it sure is. It might be like that. To be honest, it's tough to German suplex a bison, I'm sure. Anyway, your closest flirt with natural that maybe have gone awry.
I've been attacked by a fox before camping.
In Minnesota.
Technically we were in Wisconsin, but same difference. There's a part of Wisconsin and Minnesota. It's all blurred. It's nothing but trees and camping ground. But yeah, we were in the tent sleeping. I don't know if I heard it or like anybody, but like I just hear something scurrying around where the campfire was. Me at the time being a teenager, I'm curious. Now, me as an adult, I hear something scurrying around the campfire. I'm staying my ass in the tent. It ain't none of my business. I'm in my zone. They in their zone. In reality, I'm in their zone regardless. I just unzip the tent. I look out and I see a fox. And of course, as soon as a fox, I unzip the tent and open it up. Me and the fox made eye contact. He did not like that. He felt that he was trying to be sneaky, and I just done disturbed his sneakiness. And I just zoom quickly, and I just feel him scratching at the tent and walking around the tent. That lasted only like a minute or two, and then he like ended up scurrying.
I would have been like, "Oh fuck!"
Well,
I would have tried to look for the closest thing to like start hitting the tent. Like, get out of here, you bitch!
Foxes aren't big, No. Yeah, like they're not big creatures, so I wasn't like scared, but they do have sharp, they have claws. They got
How old were you at this point?
Was that sophomore year or freshman year of high school?
Oh, yeah, all right. I'm thinking you a kid. I mean, you are a kid.
But nah. Now, I did just go to the Minnesota Zoo the other day, and I didn't have no like bad interaction with no animals, but they got like ride a camel, and they got like, they have a llama park where you can just walk around with the llamas. Like the llamas are just roaming. You roam around with the llamas.
The llamas are kind of like giant and disgusting. I don't know. It's just being up close to a llama is very like.
They need braces. A lot of them need Invisalign.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, nah. I don't even want to be seen with y'all niggas. Still be with you. 80, any flirt with danger, with nature?
Nothing like too crazy like that. I think the biggest one.
Snakes invade your garden.
I mean, yeah, of course. Like my sister calls me because she has like a big garden, and like she'll call me if there's a snake that pops up. She's like, "There's a reptile back here, whatever. Come chop it up." I'm like, "All right, bro." Like there's times I have capture the snake, take it somewhere else, or like it's either me or you, brother. I gotta do what I gotta do. I think the biggest one though, like there's a big event that happens here in Georgia, typically at the beach, called Orange Crush. In college, everybody goes to like the beach and engage in festivities or whatever like that. So I was heading to the beach, and it's like a beautiful day outside and everything, clear skies, nothing going on. I get the park right there next to the beach. As soon as I hop out the car, a bunch of seagulls start swarming me, bro. Like it felt like
my example.
Crows, but like it was seagulls, nigga. I'm like,
seagulls are a different. That was my example too. We used to have a bunch of. I don't know why we had so many seagulls in New York at one point during the year, but seagulls loud. aggressive, fucking annoying.
Yes,
It's shit everywhere. Oh my god, it's fucking seagulls, bro.
I fuck with birds, man. I remember
seagulls are different, man. You ain't part of you ain't in that part of Johto,
I'm
my
not,
friend.
Nah, like it was. I think I sent this to you. That picture. Remember that time I sent you a picture of when I pulled up to my house? It was nothing but crows outside my crib. Like it was probably had to be like 50 to 75 crows. I felt like Itachi, bro. I was like, this is kind of sick.
In living in New York, kind of but I don't really see many animals. I'm pretty other than like giant mutant rats, of course. Whatever, Ninja Turtle looking niggas. But I think there was a possum the other day. Not possum, like a couple years ago. And I was like, what is a possum doing here? Like, and mind you, scary as fuck. The possums, I don't think they do anything. If you don't,
they just got rabies, bro. You just don't want to get bit by one of them joints. You definitely
You got raccoons here, like
that's like the thing is with being in Minnesota is that, like kind of nature is in like a part of being even in the city. I'll see deer just walking around, wild turkeys will walk around. I've seen possums, raccoons, all that type of stuff.
We had at my last job on campus, we definitely had a raccoon that was like around, like terrorizing shit around campus, like sneaking into school, all this other stuff like that. There was a hawk that always used to be around, and like one day it was just like wait, it was like in a tree on campus, and everyone was just like, yo, what the fuck, like walking around, because it's a hawk, like it just needs one shot. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna wrestle a hawk. You know what I'm saying? Hawks are strong.
You're not. Yeah. Bro, have you ever seen a eagle in real life?
No.
Bro, eagles are fucking scary. Them joints are huge. Like, they will snatch up a little kid for sure. Like, they will snatch up a child.
Them motherfuckers are huge. They bigger than what you think. Like,
for real. I've seen two eagles just like circling around. And I'm like, hell no, that's scary. Birds are large birds.
Yeah, there was a time where my grandma's house, we just heard a knocking somewhere around like the attic or whatever like that, and it just so happened it was because a bird got stuck in the chimney. We were trying to get it out, came all the way down, and now it's just flying around in the house and shit, bro. Like, we're just trying to figure out how to get it out.
Oh, you ever had a bat in the house?
Ooh, bat in the house is scary. I don't fuck with bats.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with bats. And they carry diseases. I don't fuck with bats.
Yeah, just something, or they'll have probably have sometimes as a kid, like a squirrel will get in a classroom and everyone's just like, get the fuck out. There's a squirrel in the classroom, and like all the kids I remember that as a kid. Bat in a room is definitely terrifying. Like, it was just very. One got in, and then we left the room for hours. And we're just like, I think it's out. But that's frightening, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a little bit of anime news before we get into Mob Psycho. It is the 10th anniversary of Mob Psycho 100, if people have not heard by now. But we do have a little bit of anime news. I want to talk about it first because we got to get this out of the way. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle will be coming to digital. They finally decided to withhold their corporate greed and give it to the masses. No more movie viewings, I'm assuming. No more. At this point, they probably put the first movie and second movie together and start selling it to niggas. But July 28th is coming out on digital everywhere. You'll be able to purchase it on Apple TV, Prime Video, Google Play, YouTube, and Fandango. And Crunchyroll will also stream the title. Are you excited to watch this movie again at all? Is there any interest in you to watch this movie again at all?
Not until the next movie is about to be released for me.
I'll watch it again for sure. I'll probably watch it again after it drops, and then I'll watch it again closer to when the second movie's gonna drop.
It is a long movie, but it is an extremely long film. So it just is what it is. But I'm glad they're finally dropping it because, first of all, I'm interested if they drop it. I think one thing I've been talking to Justin J5 about this because he's been wanting to watch a movie again, but he wants it on Blu-ray, and I'm interested if they'll even. I mean, considering the conversations that we've had, plug and play, shout to plug and play, on terms of physical media and pretty much pulling back on that, will they even release it on Blu-ray? Now, I think they would. I feel like they will at some point, but I could be wrong.
Nah, I think it's fried. I think that a lot of newer things. Because can you even get Chainsaw Man on Blu-ray?
Probably not.
Think.
Let me see.
Yeah, I feel like they did announce it for Blu-ray, at least in Japan. Like
Korean subtitles. That might be bootleg. Plans for physical release of Res 8. I haven't seen anything. Wait, no, that's just Chainsaw Man season 1.
Yeah, I think we're fried. I think physical media wise, we're done. I know that a lot of people say it's gonna be a couple years till we get phased out. I think anything now is gonna go straight to digital, which is whack. Then I hate it.
Yeah,
like it's straight up. It's whack. I think that as someone who grew up in a physical media, era, like there is something about the hunt, and there's something about the art of collecting, and there's something about it that it's a feeling unmatched that we're just not gonna get anymore.
Do you think they'll ever get to a point where they stop releasing manga physical?
No, they can't do that. Because in a way, you would have to start releasing all books physical.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because they would never stop printing comics.
Yeah,
like they would never stop printing comics. Comics are.
If they said, we've noticed that millions of people are just watching it, or indulging in it on the thing. So every volume that will be released is just going to be digital. Be stuck on printing. Save the money. The printing process in Japan is going to hell. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would happen either.
There'll be a lot of money missed out because if I could read everything on Crunchyroll or Shonen Jump or Crunchyroll, if I could read everything on Shonen Jump and or any of these other,
I guess you could on Crunchyroll too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can. Oh yeah, I forgot they do have the manga app now.
Yeah.
Damn, I have not even touched it. But my thing is, if I can just read it chapter by chapter, why would I ever buy a digital volume of anything?
I think it's mostly for like the extra stuff, like they be having author comments, extra drawings or whatever like that.
I don't care about
corrections, but yeah.
If I could save myself $12.99, and all I gotta miss out on is a couple extra drawings and some author comments that I know someone online is gonna post. Someone's gonna post the author comments and someone's gonna post the extra drawings. I ain't spending my bread on that.
I hear you. Other bit of news that we got here. I want to talk about this. Idiom, swing it to you. Blue Box is officially over.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The manga is officially wrapped up. It's done. I have not read the final chapter yet. You have not read the final chapter yet. But overall, I want to ask, what's a general grade we're gonna give Blue Box as a manga? Like, what grade do we give it overall? As much of you as you've read on a week-to-week basis, overall story, the plot points. I guess how it ended would be a factor, but we haven't read it yet. But I have a general idea of how it ends. I'm pretty sure it ends like happily ever after. Like, it's not that big of a deal. What's the general grade you're giving for Blue Box, the manga?
I'll give it a B. I think it's a solid B. Like, for like the story that it tries to tell, it's mostly a romance type of story, but it uses the aspects of sports and everything with those characters and what they're setting out for. It starts to transition into more of a slice of life type of thing. So it's like their day-to-day lives in high school, which I think is a really good aspect of the story. Just showing how they interact with each other and building on their relationships, seeing other people's relationships develop and make them have their internal monologues and questions about how they should go about it. It's the typical teenager high school stuff, but it's Shonen Jump, so it's not like you would think that certain manga and Shonen Jump would be like, no, this has to be more direct, more shonen. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But it feels more like a shoujo type of shonen. You know what I'm saying? It's more soft. Drawing's more soft. It still touches those aspects that I think are really impactful and important to people who want to get something out of that type of story, and something that you wouldn't expect because of Shonen Jump's history. So I would give it a B overall, just because it's something like different, especially for the time that it came out. During this 2020 aspect, when you had like Jujutsu Kaisen, Dr. Stone, Sakamoto Days, all of these more like hardcore, very engaging stories. And this is still engaging, but more like a softer, more down to earth type of story.
No, for sure. And it's gonna end at around 250 chapters. So that's something that's like underrated in terms of a long-standing manga. I'm not sure if we'll have that continuing in the future for very, very long. What chapters Kagurabachi on? Kagurabachi might be on chapter
like 130.
130. Yeah, they might be halfway through that joint already. Or more. I don't fucking read it. But we'll have Kagurabachi news. But yeah, I'd say Blue Box definitely. I'd give it name included, definitely a B. For everything that it does. I want to ask this, or LJ next. Crunchyroll is getting Kagurabachi. It's officially announced that they're officially getting Kagurabachi. They're going to be streaming it on the app. How important do you think is this for Crunchyroll as opposed to it's streaming anywhere else? I think it could have been anywhere, Disney, Netflix, anywhere else.
It's a big get, and they needed it because I feel that Netflix has been scooping everything up. Mm-hmm. No, it's a huge get for them, and it's gonna do great. But Crunchyroll needed that. They needed to get that title.
Yeah.
It was probably the most popular, for lack of a better term, free agent out there. Right. I know Netflix is putting in offers to obtain it for sure. Disney was. No, it's a huge get. They'll do great. It's Crunchyroll, so it's never a thing of I ever feel like they're out the game. Right. Anything when it comes to any title, but I do think that is a really big get for them, and they should be happy that Netflix didn't just throw a blank check at the studio, just like, hey, we'll do whatever you want to do. Because they could have definitely done that. But no, great get. They'll do fine. They obviously are the originators and leaders in anime releases, and they've really set the tone, especially in this day and age of streaming and everything like that, for anime. So I'm not surprised, but no, it's a huge get for sure.
This next one I want to ask, this next bit of anime news, I might leave it off here because we definitely got to get into Mob Psycho 100. The Naruto franchise announced that they officially begin, I guess, the search for the main characters of this live action Naruto. They're looking for Naruto, they're looking for Sasuke, they're looking for Sakura. Thoughts on a live action Naruto series? Is this something that we asked for? Is this something that we want? Like, what do we think of live action Naruto? And maybe I didn't grow up on Naruto, but I know it means a lot to kids that they did grow up on it. But I'm not sure if they still even want a live action Naruto. So what are your guys' thoughts?
This is One Piece's fault. Sorry, AD.
Yeah.
This is all One Piece's fault. I'm gonna be real. Mm-hmm. Them doing One Piece was tricky already, just because it's is so long and the world is so massive.
I do feel like there's a little bit of depth in One Piece, though.
There is a little bit of depth in there, and
Naruto does not have.
Yeah, no, and I do think One Piece is way more fun to do. Like that feels more like a bigger creative project than Naruto. Naruto feels like, oh, One Piece did really well. Let's do another really popular one and see if that's going to do just as well. And I think Naruto is not the one they should have chose. I think it will lean more towards Dragon Ball Evolution than One Piece.
I feel like we're out of. I feel like if anything leans to Dragon Ball Evolution in 2026.
I have seen bad stuff, bro. I'm not saying that it's gonna be that bad, but I think that the story that they're just trying to adapt, I don't see it working live action wise. And then also too, it's like, where are you gonna start? Are you gonna start from the beginning,
baby?
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's like
where are we doing? Because
it's a movie, right? Is it a movie or a series? That's the question. If it's a movie, I feel like they can only do episode 1 of Naruto. Anything further than that, and they just cramming shit in there, and it's not gonna be good. I think episode 1 of Naruto is probably the best point. You can have your Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura stuff in there, because they're in the academy. Everybody's bullying him. I feel like that's a atypical superhero. What is it, like Sky High or something like that? Like the atypical movie type of standard setting. You know, you can just get that out the way. He's being bullied. He's being an outcast, and then somebody believes in him, and then he goes out and does the thing. He learns a jutsu, and you know, it's like, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I'm going to be the greatest ninja. This is the start of my story. Blah, blah, blah. And they could go from there. But if they try to cram it, yeah. Only episode 1.
Oh, yeah,
only episode 1. Only episode 1.
You're cooked. It's just dead it. Because you got to think, too, man. You know they're going to attempt to do the Naruto comedy in it, and it's not gonna land. It's gonna feel so cringe.
It's directed by it's directed by the guy who directed. He directed Spider-Man: A Brand New Day.
It ain't even out yet. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see how that goes. I forgot that was not out yet. I don't follow Marvel movies. He directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
That was good. That was actually good.
He directed various other things. I mean, I won't go into a lot of different stuff, but he's directed and written a lot of different stuff. Yeah, a Naruto movie just doesn't feel it needs to be a series. That's the one thing I need to say off rip. I didn't know it was a film. I thought it was going to be a series. It needs to be a series. But then also it's like, that's a lot of money to spend on a series. But Naruto, it's not much depth. And then if you try to like recreate depth in it, I feel like it makes it look like it's trying too hard for a show.
And also, too, I think, like, I don't want to get too deep into this, but my last statement on this damn movie. Doing a movie, like, really watching the show, there's only really one part that everyone wants to see made into a movie. That's the Great Ninja War. Outside of that, what other part, or maybe Pain? They do Pain as a movie.
The part 1 stuff, like Naruto versus Sasuke, them at the final thing. You know, it's Sasuke retrieval stuff.
Yeah, but like I'm saying though, like probably the only parts of that story that we will ever want to see be made into a movie, you would need so much background knowledge to understand what is going on there. And it's like, are you gonna cram all of that into the first 15 minutes of the movie, first 30 minutes of the movie? So then we have this is probably gonna be another long jaunt, like the last hour 15, hour 30 to finally get into, okay, you know, you have to cram a lot in that beginning for us to get to even Sasuke retrieval.
Yeah.
I think there's a way around it. I think that if I was directing it, I would pretty much like set like the first maybe like the 45 seconds of the movie is just like, it's like the beginning of Dragon Ball Superhero, where they do the little like montage of like this is Dragon Ball and this to tell you the story of the Red Ribbon Army before they get into the actual movie itself. I'll probably like gussy it up a little bit more, like ancient scriptures type beat. So like a page turning was like Naruto's, and we had the Hokage and and the Leaf Village and blah, blah, blah. So I might do it that way. I don't know. It's interesting. But they're looking for a Naruto, so get your kids out there. Probably a white kid.
White kid with blonde hair.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not doing no black Naruto. They don't want that smoke. They don't want that woke smoke. You know what I'm saying?
How you gonna feel when Sasuke's black? When Sasuke's black with dreads, how y'all gonna feel?
I feel like if anyone is not the race that they probably would be, it'd probably be Sakura.
Low stakes.
Yeah, very low stakes.
Little mixed baby Sakura.
Yeah, something like that. If anyone is not the race that they should be, it's probably them or one of them other weird kids. Maybe the kid with the dog. Let's get into Mob Psycho 100, season 3. We're at the 10th anniversary of Mob Psycho 100. It's a series that I want to ask both of you guys. What are your introduction to the series, and when did you guys start watching it? Did you guys watch it when it dropped? Did you guys catch up to it later? Like, how did you get involved with Mob Psycho 100?
I'm pretty sure I watched it when it first came out.
Yeah, same. Wow. I'm sure I watched it when it first came out too.
2016. Yeah, I mean it's definitely there.
Because it was building off the One Punch Man hype for me. You know.
Did One Punch Man come before that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. I remember that. See,
and it ended before it. Look at God. No, I want to say also that I'd probably been watching One Punch Man and thought it was funny, and then saw that the director of One Punch Man also, or the writer of One Punch Man, also created another series, Mob Psycho 100. I watched it. By the time I got to it, was probably 2019. So this is as we're recording the Lookout, the first part of the Lookout, and I'm starting to dive more into different anime. The only thing I knew was that the first 2 seasons were completed, but there was no announcement for a 3rd season. And there wouldn't be for quite some time. I think I caught it. I've done this many times where I catch the anime at the right time where I don't have to, where there's enough content for me to binge instead of me having to like dive week by week. I think the same thing happened with My Hero, which I managed to catch it like at the end of season 3 after all the good stuff already happened. But Mob Psycho 100, I mean, I thought it was legit. It's very few things that can make me like legit laugh. But this show was so funny for no reason. Like just the situations. I think the comedy of it is like, it's not dumb. It wasn't dumb anime comedy, dumb pervy anime weird comedy. This was actually like situational, hilarious. Even the little short that they dropped today. So for the 10th anniversary, they dropped a short online, and it's Reagan getting this camera. He wanted to start documenting his process, but then Mob says, "Hey, that's a security camera." And he's like, "Oh yeah, totally. I ordered that on purpose, of course." So he's trying to install the security camera and failing because Reagan is completely unathletic and can't hold it. It's a funny 2 minutes. And to be honest with you, we'll get to this at the end. If they should continue Mob Psycho series, if they continue doing 2-minute shorts like that, I'm in. But I think it's just overall a real feel good, funny, but also grounded, but also earnest, but also just overall amazing, even visually. I think that's another thing that stood out for me too. Like the visual artistic direction is like really nothing like you've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? What are your guys' thoughts on the animation?
Oh, it was, I mean, even at the time watching it, it felt next level. Back in 2016, season 2, even going into that, animation wise, it was so different than everything else I was dropping too. Yeah. I mean, especially when we talk about now where animation in rankings of what makes a good anime is now at the top. I feel that you can't even be a good animator, considered one, if your animation ain't even on point. This really did kind of set the standard. It's kind of really laid out the blueprint a lot of what we're going to consider great animation. And then that kind of everything that came after that felt like, oh, this is they. I'll even say Demon Slayer. I feel Demon Slayer takes a lot of their own animation style from Mob Psycho. The
Really,
bright color.
I would say like some of the animators I feel like experimented with Mob Psycho and then they went to other projects like maybe Demon Slayer or other seasons or movies of My Hero. You could
I
kind
see
of see
One
that.
Piece for sure. Like One Piece, I'm not sure if the same
Yeah.
animators were used, but definitely like the style that has been used. It's this very like fluid style, more so than really the hard lines and like the big thick outlines and stuff like that. It was just more of a fluid style. Sometimes the outlines for the show maybe isn't even these characters aren't even like black outlines. Sometimes they're green. Sometimes but it's like sometimes they're used like watercolor paint to really
Yeah.
accentuate a moment in the show, and it's way deeper. That reminds me of the moment. Some of the stuff reminds me of a moment of the time where in Attack on Titan, where we finally see Eren as the founding Titan towards the end, and they just show this like visual of him like it's just like it looks like a painting of him just looking evil like towards the end of it. And I think that's a lot of Mob Psycho's doing, especially in this animation and artistic climate. I mean, it's just really amazing interpretation of the show. I do have a manga somewhere. I've never read the Mob Psycho manga, even though I do have a chapter around here somewhere. Um, but yeah, I think one of the things in terms of like season one, season two, definitely became, people were very, very excited, but also I don't think it was doing well enough, or at least was under enough people's radar to really warrant a season three immediately. But it really was people were begging, pleading even for a season three. To be created. Third season ends up being created. They went with the series being produced by Crunchyroll instead of Bang Zoom, which brought a host of different things. One of the more notable ones was the recasting of the voice of Bob in English. Kyle McCarley, um, due to him essentially being a union voice actor. Crunchyroll does not employ union voice actors at all. So they had to pretty much let him go from the show because he refused to really work without a union contract, and they don't employ union things. Um, and this was during the whole like SAG writer strike, whole
Yeah.
different idea things of it as well. So we do get the reprise role. I think it's the person who reprises the role does the voice of. It's weird if you look at his like IMDb compared to Kyle McClary. Um, he voices what's my man's name? He turns into a lion in One Piece. Rob Lucci, I believe. He voices Dobby. He voices a couple other people, which is just strange to voice Mob. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Because those
is.
are all completely different. I mean, sounding characters for sure. I mean, the character in general is completely different, but
Yeah,
yeah.
he it's Ernesto Jason Libret. He voices Dobby. He voices let's see, Mob. Yay. I should have put that on thing. Um he voices a number of different things. Actually, I'm gonna put this on more than that. Um but let's get into the show itself. What makes season three pretty much like such a different watch or amazing watch, especially compared to the other seasons?
Um, when I was watching it and rewatching it, and for me, it was just more kind of a refresher because obviously, I've seen season three before. Um, but for me, watching it now or refreshing it, seeing the seeing like the emotional build up,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dang, this hits a lot harder than I remember.
It's
Between like you kind of start off and Mob is just like, man, I gotta kind of figure out my next steps in life. I don't really, reminders like Mob's a junior high child. He's going into
right.
high school. He has kind of these. Hmm,
No, but I was about to point out because you mentioning that also there's so much growth with him having the agency to really kind of figure out like, yo, I need to figure out what I'm doing. Because when you start the beginning of the series, he really doesn't know anything. Well, I won't say know anything, but he has no direction. He has no real thing. It's really he's leaning heavily on Reagan and things that he's telling him. But this is like this is the season he begins to really like think for himself and move for himself,
yeah,
doing everything by himself. And it's really like an awakening opening for him. But
and
continue.
it's funny because a lot of this series too is characters around him learning how to deal with this version of Mob who is drawing boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Who is kind of just like, no, I have like some autonomy of my life and what I want to do and the things that I want to do. Um, so kind of seeing Mob have to navigate that too, and seeing him navigate, like you said, thinking for himself for the first time and becoming the person that he wants to, and seeing the people that are seeing that, other characters are seeing that and acknowledging it. I'm trying to think of a kid with the blonde hair.
Oh,
Um,
Teru.
Teteru, like that moment between those two, where Teteru's kind of just like, nah, like Mob, you kind of walking with your head high a little bit, he's like you walking with your
Yeah,
chest puffed out, like I rock with this, and like seeing that moment, um, but also too like seeing, I mean the big what it really builds up to the kind of this bigger climax of between him and Dimple of how you see others are reacting to that because they're now like, oh, Mob is now outgrowing me. Why Mob is now outgrowing whatever this version of Mob that I liked before because he just listened to whatever I said and did whatever I said and all these things. And now now he's thinking for himself.
yeah.
Um,
You,
so
Go ahead, AD.
I was gonna say you kind of get into like when you start at the beginning of the story, you see like Mob being very inquisitive towards other people because he's having that, thinking to himself, I should be doing more with my life, um, and then navigating what his motivations for. And it starts off with like, I want to ask the girl that I like out, but how can I do that? What is the best way to navigate that? And then you see he says, first off, I gotta get in shape. I gotta work out. These
Mhm,
guys look like they have a set goal. Maybe I could do that too. And I think it starts from a place of where you see people who have already known Mob try to do something different,
mhm,
and it's like he's never been like that. And then the people who are meeting Mob for the first time and they're saying like, who is this kid? Like, why is he like this? And seeing like how much effort he puts into the things that he does. So when you follow him through all the different seasons, it's like, no, he's really growing. And when you get to season 3, a lot of them are like, well, he's outgrowing me. I feel like he's leaving me behind. Mob, don't forget who you are. Like, it's really fun story where you see kind of the journey of Mob through his like he's only like what 12 years old, going through
yeah,
middle school, trying to figure this stuff out. And a lot of the people around him from like the telepathy club are like, man, we're wasting our youth, but this is the only time we can waste our youth. To no, we really got to take some shit serious. We got to make some memories for ourselves, like this is the only time that we can actually start to do things that actually matter to us in our lives. And I think the journey for Mob in that regard is it makes it a really fun story to follow all the way to the end.
that was I mean, it's way more divine thinking than I was at 12 years old. I can think at 12 years
Yeah,
old, what the fuck was I doing? Drawing Nintendo 64. Um, probably wasting my life, to be honest with you. But no, this is definitely like he's really being har and I think it's more like the growth of him and kind of just, other people seeing that growth that's, he's evolving. Everything is changing around
yeah,
him, and he's really, really feeling himself. We start off this season with a Divine Tree arc, which is the weirdest arc. It's a continuation of the last thing, of the last series of the show where they believe they believe they defeated Toichiro, but still that enormous broccoli is still in the center of the series of the thing, which is interesting. I thought they would have beat him and it would have been over, and that would have been that. But this
It's
broccoli
crazy
still.
they brought that. They brought that up from like the because I went back and watched season 2, and it's literally like the first season where they defeat like some farm plant and they get given like seeds as a token rather than actual money, and that just comes up because Mob forgot to take it out of his pocket.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. I haven't. I should have watched season 2 beforehand. I mean, I love Mob Psycho 100, so I should have watched it too. The enormous broccoli created, but people begin worshiping it. It's for some reason it becomes this literal religion that's growing around Mob. People are essentially becoming influenced from it. People are getting pretty much like mind taken over. Um, and then what happens is that Divine Tree develops a psychic consciousness. Um, and citizens really become brainwashed. People become worshiping the Psycho Helmet, and people were wondering, like, "Yo, what's actually going on here?" It eventually, who goes to the tree first? I think it is Teru, right?
Yeah,
I think
Teru
so,
goes
yeah.
first, and that's when he runs into the fake mob. That's when he, you know,
Realizes who it is that's actually doing it, because I think Dimple is
Mhm.
like, "This is my time to shine," type deal, and then everybody's like, "Well, where's Dimple? He disappeared."
yeah, and I love how that's like a running thing. First, it starts as a joke.
Mhm.
It was like, "Where's Dimple?" You know, like where the heck has he been? Um, and then the more they ask the question, the more they're kind of just like, "No, like where's Dimple?" Like, hold
But
on.
the interesting is he isn't evil, nor does he really came off. And I think that I like that. I mean, it would have been really interesting to see like he's finally getting the plan that he wanted, or he's finally getting what he deserved, or something along those lines. But he's never really evil. It just kind of like comes off as he's like lonely. He's wanted recognition for some time, even when the is things with Mob or his things with Reagan. I think he's ultimately wanted recognition, but ultimately it still doesn't even make him happy, especially when he goes. When he starts having his interaction with Mob, and it's Mob versus Dimple, and it's really just talking. I don't even think they go really back and forth with one another, but they eventually um, they confront each other by spending the entire episode just kind of like talking. And Mob is pouring into Dimple, and Dimple is really explaining himself to Mob, and eventually. Um, they kind of like make up, but it's too late because the fucking Psycho Helmet has gained consciousness and now he's going to attack the city. So they have this incredible fight, this like amazing animated fight between Dimple and Psycho Helmet. And you know, it's the end of the giant broccoli that lives in the fucking city. But it's the build, it's the build towards the end, what it seems like the end. It feels like Dimple is gone. Dimple is not gone. In anime, no one's really ever dead unless you see the body. Um, but this was a good way, I think, to conclude like Dimple's own personal character arc. I mean, from the moment he was
Yeah.
introduced, he just kind of like he's like, "Nah, I'm actually like more popping than I actually am." And it's like, all right, no one really takes him seriously because he's small, he's green, he's just kind of like exists in the air. He just it is what it is. He tags along with Mob and Reagan, probably because of his own loneliness. Um, but he utilizes this opportunity to be able to take over an entire city after seeing the giant Psycho Hummet or Broccoli or whatever the hell it is, and using that and maybe like this is what he's like, this is ultimately what I wanted. Ha ha ha. And it's ultimately not what he wanted. Um and you know, it shows definitely quite a bit of empathy beforehand. But thoughts on the this arc of the show.
I mean, it was amazing. It really was, and like you said, I think even as you go throughout the season, the little tidbits of when you start seeing the broccoli grow throughout the city and start having the cracks in the vines
Hmm.
and some type of symbolism and foreshadowing of some things, uh, Mob's internal struggles as a person, Dimple's own insecurities, you start to see all that surface, and then at the end, when you kind of see it all come to a climax, the boil point, and they do have that talk.
I love how the
man,
monkey shirt is the thing that throws everything off.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that was probably the biggest thing. It starts off with Mob trying to get dressed up nice, and it's like a scene where he's walking down the street with Reagan, or they're like running from the cultist or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Man, I'm hot. I got to take this jacket off." He takes it off, and Reagan's like, "Bro, what the fuck is that? Put your jacket back on."
Monkey shirt was crazy.
Yeah.
Hey man, listen, bro.
B12 or
He's
he really
12.
gave that man a bathing ape shirt, bro. Like
that's what I'm saying.
That
He
wasn't
don't
the
know.
damn bathing
Reagan
ape.
don't know no babe. That was a baby Milo, bro. He don't even know what he's talking about, man. Reagan was hating. He had the good vintage vape on.
Yeah, but even the reaction from Dimple when he sees the shirt, he's like, you know what? I still care for these motherfuckers because he cares enough to tell him that shirt is fucking disgusting, and you need to take that shit off. But
he
yeah,
did not put that shit on.
no, not at all.
One of my favorite episodes was the yokai episode. That one was hilarious.
Which episode was that?
That's where the demon hunter goes to Reagan's office. And he's practicing his lines before he goes into the office. He goes in there. Then he brings him to the abandoned building where he fights the yokai.
Oh yeah,
it's literally the building from episode 1, bro. Like
yeah. And then Reagan goes, I think we've been in this building before.
This show has a great, and I give it to all the voice actors and just kind of like overall the production of it. This show has a great way of the delivery of its comedy in such an interesting way. This isn't standard voice acting, right? This isn't like we're voicing characters on this show because ultimately it's a performance that they have to have to be able to tell this, to be able to showcase Reagan and his like, he means well, but obviously he's playing he's playing a role to really big himself up, and to really do that you really need to have the voice kind of like down, even to play Mob itself. That's why it's so like jarring that the voice of Dobby, you know what I'm saying, is also the voice of Mob, because it takes real character. There's a vulnerability and earnestness in Mob's voice that needs to come across, to be able to really showcase the character. And even the other characters like the was old girl who's the head of the telepath telepathy.
I forgot her name.
Yeah, I forgot her name too, but even that, like there's a little bit of an arrogance within her voice. It's not arrogance, but it's like assuredness in her voice. But she's a girl, but she's this. But it's a lot of things that go on. That's why I think the voice acting in the show, it really is like sells it to the point where it's like sometimes I think doing a comedy in anime is way tougher than doing an actual action show. Like,
yeah, I think that because like you said, doing a comedy, it has so many other components in it that doing just a regular shonen action, whatever, they don't have that same barrier. Like obviously you still need to have good voice acting. That's throughout, but there is situational, there's tonal things, there's timing things that come with it. And especially when you can, even if there's some physical aspects of it.
Yeah.
Where all those things, especially being animated, have to come together perfectly for it to work. You really can't miss a beat on that, and they really don't miss a beat on this. I think also too, historically, in anime comedy falls a lot more on like the lewd side. It's more pervy, it's more this, it's more harem, like all these things. With Mob, like you said, is very situational. It really is a sitcom where it's like, oh, like here are these situations that they're in, and here's a funny ass way to respond to these situations.
Was it the first season where Reagan does that like screech or something? Or maybe it's the villain who does. It was definitely the villain, the old guy, who ends up going against Mob, and he's just like, I don't want to say because it's type early, but he goes crazy when he has to unleash all of his powers, And again, it's just something like who thinks of this? Like whoever directed this, the ADR director on Mob Psycho 100, like it's really really powerful stuff. So it's amazing.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, even the cockroach scene had me in tears.
bruh,
Uh, when he lifts up the picture and sees the cockroach, he
it's
just
just
walks out.
it's just there's so many different first that's funny. It's there's so many different like and then the animation pairs so well with it, right? So it's like
Mhm.
Yeah,
you get these moments and the animation is just like oh man, like it's the perfect pairing to all of this. So it's incredible. The next arc that we have here, a little bit of a slice of life. I think it wraps up the pretty much the arc on the telepathy club, which is something that was introduced in the beginning. Um, they're trying to make their effort to contact aliens. They eventually do. They hang out with aliens. It's kind of weird. It's this weird, like, arc throughout this entire thing. Um, I think Reagan begins to like fully realize that his relationship with Mob is changing through this. Um, Tome is the girl's name.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of closure to her in terms of what her journey has been through this. Um, it's overall a really really fun arc. You could have fooled me in my mind. I was like, is this filler arc? But I guess it serves its purpose. I mean, filler usually does kind of like serve a purpose, even if it is filler. I.e. One Piece. But ultimately, like this was a fun. Even the final, I think it's episode. When you talk about great animation, I think it is episode 9, where
Mhm.
the animation for the entire episode is just really really good. Like it really carries or maybe it's episode 8. um but it really really carries it throughout all of this. So fantastic arc. We head to the final bit of it though. Wait, did anyone have any thoughts on this alien arc before I move to the end?
peak comedy,
Yeah, it was cool.
comedy.
um
So funny.
I agree. So, I think it's episode 8 that I was talking about with the great animation. Episode 9, Mob is devastated to find out that Tsubomi will be moving. Who has not been devastated? It's like, oh, I like this girl. Oh, she's moving. Like, do people even? I mean, I guess they do. Have you ever a friend that just like, I'm moving, and it's just like devastated you?
I had a homeboy in elementary school. He moved to Phoenix.
Well,
Yeah,
you still
that's
talk to him?
probably it.
Eh, Probably not.
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I haven't talked to him since he moved to Phoenix. But we were close friends in
yeah,
elementary school.
yeah. Moving does a lot, especially as a kid. Moving is pretty much the end of the world. It's like, all right, one, you can't control it. It's not like us as the adults where we're like, nigga, I'm moving. It's like I get it. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like rent is high. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But it's like my roommate is moving out, the lease is up, like it's so many adult problems. But when you're moving as a kid, it's like the end of the world. Um, I still remember that episode of Boy Meets World where Topanga moved, and you would have thought the world was this nigga was so depressed. But this was
Hey
not.
man, I felt.
But then she
I
ran
really
back from Pittsburgh all the way to Philadelphia or whatever the fuck it is back away in the rain, and they found love again. This is not how this goes though. Mob is devastated to find out Sabumi will be moving soon, but resolves to confess his feelings before she leaves. He's noticing a lot of people are trying to confess they're leaving their their ideas before they move, um, their emotions before they move, but she rejects them all. Um, Mom is trying to get advice from Reagan. Reagan gives great advice. Let's say
Yeah.
that as an adult, and Reagan is not even an adult. I think he's like, is he like 20, 21?
He's like 28.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was
Okay,
saying, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
okay,
supposed to be
big adult then.
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I turned on your adult game, Reagan. I thought you were like 21, 22. Um, So he gives really, really great advice to ultimately like be yourself. If they don't like you for who you are, you don't really need to be around them, et cetera, et cetera. That's some of like adult advice that adults would give. I give that advice.
But he even gave great advice in the
Yeah.
beginning when he was like, "Hey, pretty much like you gotta follow your heart, like follow, what you want to do." When mom was kind of confused on what career path and stuff that he wanted to take and all this stuff.
The irony is that he's giving them all this advice while truly not being truthful to himself or Mob, to
Yeah,
be honest with you. So I think
Yeah.
that's the irony in this all. Um, so he calls Sabumi, says, "Let's meet at the park," and they're like, "Okay, buy flowers for her." You know what I'm saying? Do this, do that. So he's walking. He's at the crosswalk. Um, a car's about to run over a cat. He uses his psychic powers to save the cat. Save the cat. Um, maybe it was a metaphor. I don't know. Um, and then some kid is playing clearly some Nintendo 3DS or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Um, walking without looking, I mean, I don't
It
think. Go ahead.
it feels like that one for one to scene with Yu Yu Hakusho,
Absolutely.
with like
yeah.
kid crossing the street. I'm like, damn, bro. What do you do now? You just saved the cat.
Yeah. So he ends up getting hit by a car. And it's really sudden and it really like takes you out of your element. It's something that I didn't expect that would happen, but ultimately becomes incredibly impactful. He's lying there, blood is dripping out of his head. I thought he was dead. I thought it was like, oh, this is how Mob Psycho 100 ends. Like incredibly
He
more grim.
died.
Right.
We
Then
all had that moment, like, he
what
dies.
happened was I guess the real him died. And the version of him that people have been talking about since season one. That Shago has been is it Shago?
Oh,
Shigeo?
Shigeo, yeah.
Has been talking about since season one, the part that they feared the most because it was a power that came out when he was a kid and he's trying to suppress it. And you learn that he's been trying to suppress this thing for like 3 seasons now. Even throughout his fights, throughout his journeys, throughout everything, he's ultimately been trying to suppress feelings inside. And you get to learn that pretty much like the best way to deal with feelings is not to suppress them. Because ultimately when you have this moment, everything truly explodes. And this is what you're seeing the manifestation of the emotional climax of Mob Psycho, the final arc of it, um, the question mark, question mark, question mark, the mysterious power is finally here. And yeah, it's just the real, I don't want to say it's the real him. It's a part of him that it's like Piccolo and Kami, right? Like it's like King Piccolo.
Well, I mean, no, I do like the thought of like the real him, meaning that these are probably all the words, all the things that he wishes he can express,
Mhm.
all the frustration, all the anger, all of this, all of that, that
Because
he
when
holds out there.
Right, because when he thinks being kind is like not saying these things at all, like just keeping these emotions away, um, and like you said, like suppressing them only makes them kind of blow up. Um,
Yeah, and I think that's something though too. Once again, as children, they like that's something I think we all have dealt with,
mhm,
especially as we've grown emotionally and have to deal with like how to grow emotionally mature of learning that, hey, how do you properly express your angers and your frustrations and your this and your that? And there's a lot of people who even as adults don't know how to do that.
mhm,
Um and that tie-in of, you kind of have felt he has felt this pressure this entire season of I'm transitioning into this new phase of life. I'm about to go into high school. The girl that I like is moving away. I'm having to have tough conversations with friends, all these things. And then finally, it all kind of bubbles up
right,
Mhm.
and doesn't know what to do with it anymore.
and,
Um,
truly, like these final episodes, as you see, I mean, it's very important who are the people who confronts him because Teru confronts him, and he was one of the earliest battles within the show. And Teru was always like, "Yo, my power makes me the baddest bitch on earth." You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the ultimate because I'm like the most powerful. Where now he's a little bit more, you see, because of his interactions with Mob, he becomes a little bit more, humility. He builds his identity over again. He tries to stop Mob, and he's not doing it for himself or to prove that he's stronger than Mob like he did in his initial fight, but he's legitimately trying to do it because he's like, I'm trying to save my friend. Um, it's that. Um,
And you see, like, he never tries to like swing on him. But
yeah.
at the same time, like Mob is like destroying everything around him. All buildings are like breaking down. Like people are being hurt by it. And Teru is like, y'all gotta get out of here. And then when he talks to Mob, he's like, bro, you would never hurt a fly. This is not my friend that I would know. But if you have a problem, we could talk about it.
Mhm.
Like that's one thing that I've learned from you. Like we could talk through our problems and situations. And then when it comes to the end of that part, with like Mob like just whooping his ass, destroying everything around him, buildings crumble. You see like all of these different lights of orbs just popping up, and it has all the people being saved by Terry. He's like, yeah, I got you this time. I beat you this time.
Yeah, and he spends his time like saving people as well instead of like them being casualties of his destruction.
Mhm.
We go over to the convenience store where the members of Claw are working, and you can see that their lives have changed also by interacting with Mob. Maybe not in the best way, but still, and ultimately, their lives have changed, and they try to stop him, but um, they have you know, no choice. Um, Torichiro tries to until Sho pulls up, father son duo. Um, and again, life of crime, now kind of like reformed. He's choosing his family over, kind of like sacrifice. So he's changed through all this as well. The body improvement club comes and they don't have any powers, right? But ultimately they don't want to see their friend also go down this path. So they come and they try to do the best that they can, but they ultimately aren't able to stop him. Ritsu shows up, and this is what he's feared the most. This is what he's always kind of like knew that he would have to go up against, and that's why he's been building up his psychic power to really stop Mob for when these kind of moments come, because he wants to be able to feel like he's the little brother, but ultimately he still wants to protect Mob. Um, he tries to reach his brother. He fails, but I think he does kind of like succeed a little emotionally. Um, and then we see Reagan. Reagan is kind of like tipped off and he sees it on his phone. Um, just kind of like what's going on, and he goes in there to really like talk to Mob. We see Dimple kind of show up again to really help Reagan out, and it really isn't until Reagan confesses that like um, his lack of power, and you get a little bit backstory with Reagan too. Like Reagan, he has his whole situation with his family and all this other stuff like that, and you really get to see another side of Reagan as well. But he truly manages to reach him. Um, Kind of even as a father figure in some point. Even though Mom, he definitely has a father. Why aren't his parents there? Shit. Um, but
Hey man, listen,
parents aren't
that's a
part of the
OG.
series
Yeah,
unless they're being kidnapped and they might have been set on fire or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So Reagan admits he's a fraud because he realizes honesty is the only way to reach Mob, and it's giving Mob like almost permission not to hide his flaws anymore, and it does eventually break through, and Mob is able to confront this other side of him and really able to take over it, and the battle kind of ends. I love it.
I cried. I cried.
Yeah.
My eyes got misty.
This was my first time actually watching this part. I had stopped at the whole space thing, and I was like, enough. I don't want this to end. So like,
I feel you.
Hey, I've been there before. There's definitely a couple animes. I got the last like 4 episodes. I'm holding off, man. I ain't trying to. I don't want to see this end. But nah, this one it got me misty eyed because season 1, season 2, season 3, you see the lead up all the way
yeah.
there, and then finally it's just like fine. Everything finally comes to a heat. You're
And,
like, oh
and,
shit.
and like one of the best parts of why I love when anime do this is when they bring back the opening theme for like a crazy
Gotta bring back the
sequence,
opening theme.
like Reagan running through all the buildings and stuff. Like I was like, hey yo, they turn it up for this one. Like I love
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opening theme is gas. So he eventually does get through to him. Everything goes back to normal in a sense. Mob still talks to Sabumi. It's like, oh, she said no. And that's really it. It's ultimately at the end of the day, she's like, no, ultimately, like, I see us as friends. Never really saw you any more than that, to be honest with you. Maybe she just send that hoe to send her hoe to Phoenix, man. Let her rock, bro. So Sabumi's moving.
I was gonna say he's trying to clutch on. I'm like, what you gonna clutch on to her for? She about to leave, bro.
Yeah,
she gone.
But he does cry, and this is again, he's able to be real with his emotions, and he real with himself. We get a little bit of a fast forward. A couple months later, Mob is the vice president of the Body Improvement Club. You know, he's really bettering himself and becoming the person that he wants to be, or the person he sought to look after, sought to be when initially joining in season one. He doesn't work for. I don't think he works for Spirits and Such anymore, but I think that Tomei does. And yeah, they have a birthday celebration for Reagan, and it's really really fun, and it's really really hard, lighthearted, and it's kind of amazing way to wrap up the series. Um, Ultimately, one of the best, just one of the best series that's ever. I think a really
one
really
of the
good
best
anime.
10 out of
ever.
10. 10 out of 10, bro.
10. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there really is no flaws in this show.
Every
You
episode
can't.
has a reason for even the. I don't even think they're bad episodes. Like
No.
it's just, some episodes may not be as engaging as others, but I think ultimately they all serve a purpose, and they're all funny in a sense. Like, I want to ask, what's your favorite? We'll do these questions, these fast paced questions, and then we get out of here. What's your favorite Mob Psycho 100 moment? Just for the entire series. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really hard for me not to choose the viral fight moment. Season 2. I forgot his name.
The blind guy.
The blind guy was whooping ass.
Yeah.
I have kind of most of them involve Reagan. To be honest, I think Reagan is incredible. It's the end of season 1 where he gets the powers, and it's just insane for no reason. Like he just has powers. People think he walks into the Claw headquarters, and people think that he's the boss because he's like the most assertive adult. He's like, is that the Claw? Is that the boss? Let's go with him. So they go with him. Another part is the Mob and Reagan fight that they had. I thought that was incredibly like realistic and real. Of like you're understanding that you're taking advantage of me, and it's like, well, then go, and then they become friends again. Just incredible. Let's see. Let me see if I have any more questions. I mean, would you want could this become a live action series?
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
The funny thing is, I think it could.
You could.
I think this would be easier to adapt than Naruto, for sure.
Oh, he's
like
this could be on some A24 shit.
Could be.
There's a lot of emotional depth to it. Like it's not like.
But would it be as funny?
Bang, bang.
That's the thing.
I think you would have to like.
It absolutely can.
I think it would have to be more. They would have to pitch it more as a comedy than in supernatural, kind of like.
No, you can definitely pitch it as some type of dramedy that has some supernatural aspects to it.
Right.
Yeah, I think of Matilda. This is Matilda shit.
That's funny. No, you're right. You're right.
You are. Yeah.
MVP of the series.
Reagan.
Oh my.
I'm going with Reagan too. He's just my favorite.
1A, 1B. Like
yeah.
Mob's my favorite. Like that. I love Mob, man. As a kid who was emotionally suppressed, I felt seen.
Absolutely. Most rewatchable episode.
I'm playing them all back in my head.
That's what I'm saying. What is the one where they go into? It might be the claw episode, or it might be. There's another episode near the end of season 1. I can't think of it right now. That's really funny.
For me, it's probably
where they saved the kid, where they saved the kid in the glass thing.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that's a good one. I would say the school festival one where Mob asks Reagan for some help and he's like questioning like what to do about this and he's like talking through it everything and then he's like, this might work and he's trying to, be more active and social in class or whatever. That might be the one for me. Also the Reagan episode where, it just breaks down. He get an email from his mom. And she's like, "Happy birthday! I got you a present," and it's a job application. Like,
I love most Reagan episodes. I'm tapping in for. Do you think it's my last question? Do you think that the show should continue?
Nah, it ended where it needed to end.
It could be a sequel, but like,
I think it
I
needs
don't
to be
think
a
it would.
sequel.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed of a sequel.
You would have to follow somebody else.
Nah, I mean, you can follow Mob when he gets a little older, right before, senior year high school type, type beat.
Yeah.
There's another young psychic that he finds with the same power, and he has to kind of play this Reagan role.
That's what I mean. Like, it has to follow somebody else. Like,
the show to me is too good for it to not. I feel like it ended at a great point. I mean, anime was still popular, but I feel like there's still heights that it can reach. And then it's also kind of weird that One Punch Man is still going on and this show isn't. And I feel like you should direct all your energy into Mob Psycho, as opposed to. I look at series like Don to Don and like stuff like that, and I feel like, man, like Mob Psycho pairing alongside Don to Don, like that would be a good like hour block that I would watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of like adventures and paranormal activity, supernatural and stuff like that. Like maybe Don to Don is definitely like the next like genuine predecessor from Mob Psycho. But it's just this is too good of a series. I feel like even if it wasn't like tied to the manga, right? Because everything apparently was adapted from this manga. I had never read the manga, but from everything that all the research that I did, it's like one of the most faithful adaptations ever. And the only thing I think, and I think I watched it, I remember this from Totally Not Mark's review, where the only thing that they kind of like altered for the anime was Shibumi's eyes. As you notice, she's the only one that has like the cute anime sprinkled eyes in the show, and everyone has kind of like the slanted same kind of eyes. But then he realizes that, and Totally Not Mark is like great at realizing this stuff. That was how Mob saw her from his eyes, because when you saw her from the perspective of anyone else, she just had the same eyes. So it's like
season 3, that becomes more apparent. I was like,
yeah, I was
she
like,
looks
what?
different.
Yeah, I was just like, I didn't never realize that. But again, it's just stuff like you can do in the adaptation with like that makes it amazing. Mob Psycho 100, fantastic series, amazing series. Glad to close the chapter. We've covered this entire anime strictly through Summer Kame Houses. So we're closing the chapter. We're retiring it from the TRL top 10 or wherever the fuck we're doing it. Retiring it from 106. Unless they come out with another series or they come up with a movie or something along those lines. But there is a 10th anniversary. If you want to go see it in theaters, I believe they do have like a Mob Psycho theater thing. Let me actually look it up. It's here, one day only. So yeah, go fuck yourselves. And it's on a Monday, so double F it. Double fist yourself. In the United States and Canada, July 20th, the 10th anniversary of this. In select theaters only, you'll be able to see it. So Monday, next week, Monday, you'll be able to go in theaters, watch Mob Psycho 100, probably with like 6 other people, to be honest with you, because who the fuck is going on Monday?
Was it just like season 1? Was it?
I think it's the best. They're taking the most popular episodes and showing them all in a theater.
Nice.
So you can definitely check that out. But up next, we're gonna Sad Boy Summer.
Takapi's Original Sin.
Takapi's Original Sin. Up next on the lookout. That'll be in 2 weeks. I have not watched it. I have not engaged with it.
Anime of the Year nomination.
Okay, as you said that, so we definitely we'll definitely see what it's about. I'm sure it is. Like it's Anime of the Year, shout out to Crunchyroll. I guess they do it for no reason. Yeah. So we have that to tune into. Thank you guys for continuing to follow us. Make sure you guys follow us on YouTube at the Lookout on RNC Radio. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you get a thumbs up. Make sure you share this. Do everything on social as well. We don't just post for no reason, so definitely share it if you got it. And hopefully we'll have some nice DreamCon content. You know, DreamCon is definitely the things that happen at DreamCon that are not covered. Maybe we won't talk about. But the DreamCon stuff that did happen that we can cover, we'll have it. We have Jay on the scene, so make sure you stay tuned for that as well. Anything else next week? What are we talking about next week, guys? I think it's another Big Eyes week. What are we doing?
Yeah, we're doing Fujimoto, the man with the pen, the sicko with the pen.
Sicko with the pen is really the most apt way to describe him.
Yeah. No, it will be Fujimoto, a potential bonus episode too.
There you go.
But no, Fujimoto for sure.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, don't meet us there, beat us there. This is The Lookout, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.